In Romania, many people believe that you should simply choose dividend yielding stocks because they offer you passive income. Do you think someone should rely on dividends in retirement? And which are the main retirement risks of following this approach of dividend growth investing?
So I can mostly comment from the US perspective. I don't necessarily know how well this plays out with other international markets. But from the US perspective, like if you go into the total return market and not focus on dividend paying stocks, you may be able to achieve a higher total return than sometimes when you invest in more dividend paying stocks. It's riskier sectors of the market. You may have a higher dividend, but then you have a lower total return because your total returns are your dividends plus the price returns. So maybe, like just a very simple example, the overall market might be a 2% dividend yield, but a 10% overall return. Maybe a dividend-focused approach gives you a 5% dividend yield, but maybe a 9% overall return. And so at the end of the day, you'd be better off with the total return approach that doesn't worry about tilting towards higher dividend-paying stocks. And then also, there's tax implications, at least in the US. If the dividends are not qualified, you're paying tax, like the dividends, you have to pay taxes annually at ordinary income rates or at the preferential rates if it's a qualified dividend. But nonetheless, that money is coming out and you're having to pay taxes on it now versus with capital gains, at least in the United States, you're not paying capital gains tax until it's realized, until you sell the investment. So you get more tax deferral through a total return approach that gives you more long-term capital gains and less dividends. So that would be another factor to consider. But generally speaking, I don't necessarily think it's wise, at least, and again, I can only speak to this in the United States, for investors to move away from the total market and emphasize more higher dividend yielding stocks as a way to generate income to fund their retirement.